Glass outside the building are the first elevators of their kind in England. This tower is 95 stories tall, making it the 46th tallest building in the world and also one of the tallest in the European Union. Out of these 95 floors, only 72 floors are usable. But is this 160-year-old clock merely a tool for telling time, or does it hold fascinating stories within? Some researchers believe that maybe extraterrestrial beings were involved in the construction of this building. And because 6,000 men working for 10 years seems a bit strange and unbelievable. In 2008, £4 million were spent on the appearance of Tower Bridge. Lloyd's building. Lloyd's of London was founded in 1688 by Edward Lloyd and currently has more than 2,500 branches around the world. The headquarters of this company is located in London. Lloyd's building is one of the most famous modern buildings in the City of London, which was completed in 1986. This building is the home of the Lloyd's of London Insurance Institute and is located on Lime Street in the oldest area of London. This building was designed by Richard Rogers during the year designed and executed from 1987 to 1986. Like the Pompidou Centre, the innovation of this building is the establishment of service and facility departments, staircases, elevators, electrical cables and utility pipes, etc. outside the building, which creates an open and accessible space. It is not eaten inside. While moving in the streets around this building, parts of the glass facade with its utility towers covered with steel sheets are visible. This building has 12 floors on the north side and on the south side. By reducing the scale of the building and its number of floors to 6 floors, there are smaller scale buildings that create multiple terraces and levels, along with 3 main communication towers and 3 service towers around it. Other fixed and service parts of the building, such as restrooms, stairs, entrances and elevators, are located outside the volume of the building, and 12 elevators are located in these 6 vertical towers. Glass outside the building are the first elevators of their kind in England. The most important aspect of the design of the Lloyd's building is its flexibility. This building is designed as a number of concentric galleries that overlook the central surface. Centralized elevators, installation pipes and duct services in service towers. By placing the main pillars of the building outside, by reducing the restrictions on the use of space, creates a free and flexible space inside the building. For this purpose, horizontal ventilation channels and vertical ones are also installed outside the building. The main trading hall on the ground floor is 60 meters high, which is covered with a large glass arch and directs natural light into the building. It is exposed to the galleries of the upper floors. The first 4 galleries that open to a space are accessible and connected through escalators in the center of the building. Access to the higher floors with a completely glass facade is only possible through external elevators. The boardroom on the 11th floors is an 18th century room designed by Robert Adam for the 2nd Earl of Shelburne in 1763 and moved here piecemeal from the previous Lloyd's building. In order to make room for the construction of the new building, the first Lloyd's building was demolished, but its main entrance on 12th Leadenhall Street was preserved, although its connection with the 1986 skeleton of the building seems somewhat unusual. The name of the building is also taken from Edward Lloyd, who founded a coffee house on the current site in 1688. The unusual configuration of the Lloyd's London Insurance Office building is due to its placement in the irregular pattern of medieval streets, and the architect's philosophy that the building seems to have been installed on kit of parts. All the structural details are fully displayed and gives the viewer a little understanding of how the building is supported. This building is located in the heart of the financial district in the City of London. Comment your opinion. Shard Tower. London's Shard Tower, with a height of 310 meters, is the tallest skyscraper in the United Kingdom. This tower looks like a piece of glass and is located on the site of the old towers that were demolished in 2008. It is a 72-story mixed-use tower next to London Bridge Station on the bank. It is located south of the Thames River. The London Shard structure is a unique luxury among the ever-intertwining clouds of London. This tower is 95 stories tall, making it the 46th tallest building in the world and also one of the tallest in the European Union. Out of these 95 floors, only 72 floors are usable. The London Shard Tower has a height of 310 meters, which was designed by an Italian designer named Renzo Piano. The construction of this skyscraper started in 2009, and after about 3 years in May, it was opened in 2012. This opening took place before the London 2012 Summer Olympics, so that they could host Olympic guests at the Shard Hotel. The construction of the Shard Tower project found a high cost. Inside this skyscraper, restaurants, offices, and luxury apartments have been built, and between the 68th and 72nd floors, there is an observatory with a 360-degree view of London, which is a unique view of London. Provides in 1998, a London entrepreneur named Irvine Seller and his partners decided to change the face of London by carrying out a program that had been silent since 1970. To research this idea, in the spring of 2000, he planned to travel. They made Italy to talk generously with a famous Italian designer and architect named Renzo Piano about the work he had done. Planning and meetings continued until in 2003, the British government agreed to this plan, and it was decided to build a tower in the heart of London that would break the London sky. Almost officially, the construction of the Shard began in 2007 and ended before the 2012 London Olympics. The construction of such a towering structure certainly requires an equally high budget, but after the construction of the Shard began, it was speculated that the construction of the Shard would be stopped due to a lack of financial resources, but help arrived. At the height of these speculations, Irvine Seller announced in January 2008 that the construction of the Shard does not face any financial problems because an investment consortium Qatari has borne something as high as 80% of the cost. With this news, it became clear that this consortium paid something as high as €150 million for the construction of Shard, and it was no longer necessary to think that this Qatari consortium has become a business partner of this project. This news was officially announced in 2009 by the London government as well as this consortium, and it made Qatar play a key role in the profit and loss and, of course, the management of this hotel. This structure has different parts. It has 25 office floors, a 360-degree London observatory that offers you a 360-degree view of London. A very beautiful, luxurious hotel with all facilities. The rooms of the Shard Hotel are 50 meters long, and you may not be able to find any floors in them. When you enter a part of the Shard, it's as if another world has opened up to you. Each room in the hotel has its own style and is completely different from the other rooms. And the best has been used in the design of the rooms, using marble, pure silk, the best type of wood, eye-catching chandeliers. And in addition to all this, the elegance and peak of design, everyone is waiting for a memorable stay. Comment your opinion. Big Ben. Big Ben, a symbol of time and history in the heart of London. This massive clock, visible from almost every corner of the city, is not just one of London's most iconic landmarks, but also a key part of England's cultural identity. But is this 160-year-old clock merely a tool for telling time, or does it hold fascinating stories within? Why has Big Ben become a symbol of precision, strength, and England's rich history for millions around the world? Join me as we explore this legendary clock from a fresh perspective. The London Clock Tower, with its massive clock and grand structure, is one of the most recognizable symbols of both London and the world. The London Clock Tower, commonly known as Big Ben, is part of the Palace of Westminster and has been celebrated since 1859 as a symbol of precision and reliability in timekeeping. Big Ben is not just an accurate clock, but a valuable architectural and historical heritage that holds many stories within its walls. This towering structure, with its massive bells, has for years kept the rhythm of London alive and remains one of the city's most popular tourist destinations. Big Ben refers specifically to the large bell housed within the Westminster Clock Tower, one of the most famous buildings in the UK Parliament. However, due to its popularity, the name Big Ben is often used to refer to the entire clock tower. The official name of this tower was changed to the Elizabeth Tower after Queen Elizabeth II's Jubilee celebrations. The tower, with its 4 faces of the clock and the massive 13-ton bell that chimes every hour, has become one of London's most recognised symbols. Over the years, this clock has gone through significant changes to reach its current form. Big Ben is located at the northern end of the House of Commons in Westminster, London, near the River Thames. Although the Palace of Westminster, with its famous clock tower, may appear to date back to medieval times, it is only about 160 years old. The original palace was largely destroyed in a tragic fire on October 16, 1834. The current design incorporates beautiful neo-Gothic elements that give it a timeless, historic appearance. The construction of the tower was completed in 1859, with the design and construction carried out by architect Charles Barry, while Augustus Pugin oversaw the intricate interior architecture. The 4-faced clock was the largest of its kind in the world at the time. The tower reaches an impressive height of 315 feet, 96 meters, with 334 spiral steps leading to the top. At the top third of the tower, there is a dark and somber room that was used as a prison cell for several years after the completion of the tower. When members of Parliament did not adhere to the ethical standards of Parliament, they were moved to this room at the top of the tower to reflect on their actions. This room was last used in 1880, when a radical MP who refused to take the oath of allegiance to Queen Victoria on the Bible was placed there. He was held for just 1 night, but was banned from entering Parliament for 5 years. Big Ben is one of London's top attractions. The massive bell, weighing 13 tons, was moved with a grand ceremony along the River Thames and then carried by a 16-horse-drawn carriage across Westminster Bridge. The bell was placed in the courtyard of the new palace for rigorous testing, but during these tests in October 1857, it cracked. A new bell, crafted by George Mears, was completed in April 1858 to replace the original bell. In October 1858, with the help of a crane, the new bell was installed at the top of the tower after a grueling 30-hour journey. For the past 150 years, Big Ben has hung there, marking the passage of time. The nickname Big Ben has been used for over 150 years, originally referring solely to the large bell inside the tower. This bell was named in honor of Sir Benjamin Hall, who oversaw its installation at the top of the tower. Another theory suggests that the name might have been inspired by a heavyweight boxing champion named Benjamin Count. In 1949, the London Clock Tower encountered an unusual situation with a flock of birds. A group of birds decided that the clock hands made a perfect resting spot. The copper hands attracted so many birds that their weight caused the clock to fall behind by 4.5 minutes. Management was able to fix the error within a few hours. Visit this remarkable clock tower and share your thoughts with us. Stonehenge. A strange place that lasted for 10 years. And during this year, 6,000 people worked continuously in this place, which creates a doubt in the mind that how is this work possible? And maybe it was built by extraterrestrials. Stonehenge is one of the most famous prehistoric buildings in England. This 5,000-year-old building was built in several stages. This tourist attraction in England was built as a unique stone circle about 2,500 years before Christ, and today, Stonehenge is the heart of the world. It has created a world heritage with a unique concentration of prehistoric works. This tourist attraction of England consists of almost 100 vertical stones in a circular design. Archaeologists believe that Stonehenge was built in several stages, which probably started 5,000 years ago or earlier. The first known structures in the Stonehenge area were 4 or 5 pits, so that in the beginning Stonehenge was only a circular moat inside which there were many wooden structures. These wooden tools belonged to the inhabitants of that time. There were 56 holes in this circular ditch. About 2,500 years before Christ, two stones were built right in the center of Stonehenge. The bigger stone was called sarsen and the smaller stone was called bluestone. In the Bronze Age, one of the largest British garrisons was built around Stonehenge. Since 1897, when the Ministry of Defence purchased a large piece of land near this area for military training exercises, military activities have had many effects on Stonehenge. The presence of barracks, firing ranges, field hospitals, airfields and railroads. Destructive changes in this tourist attraction of England. According to a 12th century writer, Stonehenge was built by a wizard, although the debate on this topic has been so great that other hypotheses have attributed this English monument to the Saxons, Danes, Romans, Greeks, or the Egyptians have attributed. Even in the 17th century, an archaeologist named John Aubrey claimed that Stonehenge was built by high priests. This theory was widely popularized by the Christian William Stowe Kelly. One of the other ideas about Stonehenge is that it was used to change the seasons and determine the time of harvest. A kind of calendar was calculated for the people of ancient times, and with the help of it, the movement of celestial bodies was checked. Some researchers also believe that this place was used for worship, and it was a place similar to a temple. Those in the stones reject another idea that points to this issue, that the stones of this building indicate power channels in the earth. No one really knows why Stonehenge was built, but there are many theories as to why it was built. Some say it was a religious site, while others speculate that it was used for astronomical research. As mentioned, around 3100 BC, a mammoth circular ditch was dug here with a depth of about 6 feet. Stonehenge is considered an engineering masterpiece that was built using only simple tools and technologies before the arrival of metals and the invention of the wheel. The construction of this stone circle required hundreds of people to carry, shape, and erect the stones. These builders asked others to prepare food for them, take care of their children, and provide equipment such as stones, hammers, ropes, Chinese horns, and pants. The whole project needed careful planning and organization. Stonehenge is a unique prehistoric monument at the center of a rich archaeological landscape. The stones of this monument have unusual acoustic properties. When they are touched, they produce a loud clicking sound, which probably explains why these stones were brought here from afar. In some ancient cultures, it is believed that such stones contain healing power. In fact, it means bell rock. Research on Stonehenge shows that it took about 6,000 strong men to move stones of this magnitude. It took 3 weeks to move each piece of stone in this building by 100 men, and this means that the construction and completion of the central part of this building took about 10 years. Some researchers believe that maybe extraterrestrial beings were involved in the construction of this building, and because 6,000 men working for 10 years seems a bit strange and unbelievable. There are many theories and stories about Stonehenge. However, this mysterious building, this precision and elegance cannot have arisen naturally and by itself, and must have been created by intelligent people who know enough about astronomy and mathematics for the purposes it is specially made. Stonehenge is the most well-known work of the Neolithic period, however. After centuries of study and theorizing, there is no definitive knowledge about what this structure is and why it was built. In 1695, Edmund Gibson complained that Stonehenge is so unique and so in the unknown history that everyone gives a theory about it. The use of Stonehenge has been a point of dispute for centuries among archaeologists, antiquarians, architects, poets, and scientists, and new theories are still being presented about it. Late 19th century Stonehenge was a depressing and forgotten ruin. Many of its blue and sarsen stones were overthrown, broken or stolen, mainly in the Roman and medieval periods of Britain. Comment your opinion about this place and say why they built this place. Tower Bridge. The most beautiful bridge in England, which was built on the Thames River and has Gothic architecture, and the construction of the bridge began in 1886 and was completed in 1896, and each of the tongues of the movable bridge is more than 30 meters long and can be opened up to an angle of 86, has the degree. It can be said that Tower Bridge is the most famous and popular movable bridge in London. This bridge consists of two parts and opens exactly in the middle. With the help of this bridge, the northern and southern parts of the Thames are connected. The construction of this bridge began in 1886 and it was completed 8 years later in 1894. More than 11,000 tons of steel were used to build this bridge. More than 400 workers worked to build this bridge, and more than 70,000 tons of concrete were poured on the bottom of the Thames River to maintain the foundations of this bridge. The total length of the Tower Bridge is 244 meters, and it is divided into three parts, the largest of these three parts. The section is 61 meters long. Each of the two towers on both sides of the bridge are 65 meters high. In order to prevent the structure of this bridge from collapsing, cars must cross it at a speed of less than 32 km/h. More than 40,000 people cross this bridge every day. To choose the design of this bridge, a big competition was held among designers. Finally, Mr. Horace Jones's design was announced as the final winner of this competition, and it has remained until today. The appearance of the bridge shows that it is an old building, but this bridge is considered a modern structure made of steel. The central part of the bridge, which is opened and is the movable pole of the bridge, rises to 86 degrees. Each of the two parts that are opened from each other weighs 1,000 tons and stays up for 5 minutes. The ships have 5 minutes to pass under the bridge. This bridge has seen many renovations throughout its history. For example, it was in 2000 that a computer system was set up to raise and lower the pyramids of the bridge so that they could control it remotely. In 2008, £4 million were spent on the appearance of Tower Bridge. During this work, the bridge's chocolate colour was changed to blue, white and red, and the lighting of the bridge underwent changes. The authorities at that time decided to make the next changes 25 years later. Also, in 2012, when England hosted the Olympics, Tower Bridge was used for advertising in such a way that the Olympic rings were hung from this bridge to create an interesting view. It is interesting to know that ships must pass through this bridge apply earlier. China and its copies have reached the Tower Bridge, and they have built a bridge similar to it, of course, the Chinese bridge that was built in Suzhou. It does not have the ability to go up and down and has 4 towers. Before the Tower Bridge was built and put into operation, people had to pay a penny to cross the river, and an underground tunnel was used for this. About 70 years ago, a bus was crossing the Tower Bridge when the bridge began to open. The bus driver, who was in the middle of the road, should have slowed down and stopped, but he decided to speed up. A bus was moving at a high speed and fell to the lower floor that had not yet been opened. Perhaps the fact that no one was killed in this incident has made it famous because people still tell this story to each other. Tower Bridge opens almost twice a day. There is this superstition among people that if you happen to see Tower Bridge opening, it will bring good luck. The Tower Bridge is one of the famous bridges of London, and it is known as the symbol of the Thames River. With its construction between 1886 and 1894, this bridge was among the most prominent attractions, and with its beautiful view, it has been featured in countless films, including Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious 6, Bridget Jones's Memoirs, and visitors are allowed to climb the towers of the bridge and even rent the tower rooms for various events. The architecture of this memorable bridge reflects the Victorian Gothic style of the 19th century. The reason for the construction of this bridge was the increase in the population of London in the 19th century, which made the authorities of the City of London think of building a new bridge over the River Thames. And one of the most important and common problems in the construction was that the ability to maintain the stability of the bridge was very difficult and caused blockage of anchorage routes. This bridge also suffered damages during the World War, especially the engines of the Tower Bridge, which were damaged by some operations. One of the engines that were added in recent years for greater security in these parts. It has contributed more to the modernization of the building, although this engine does not have many uses, but it has become a part of this building. Visit this beautiful and amazing tower and enjoy it to the fullest, and comment your opinion about this place.